back him and then play with him later. If you're putting this gyro on the Timber lane, that makes it a lot harder. And now you're just looking towards Shiro to be the hero to bring you into this game and not the offlaner.
I just want discipline from Tidebound, right? A bad initiation, a simple misexecution. There's so much turnaround potential for Falcons to beat you in the team fight. So if Tidebound do have a lead, they need...
And if you look at our win rate, it's like sitting at 52%, 53%. Yeah. It's fine. It's a great hero, but it's not going to win you the game by itself.
And do we feel that Falcons have figured it out in this game in particular?
I really like what Falcons have going for them because outside of having a more cohesive draft in terms of team fight, their laning is really strong. And if you look at Tidebound, they're still lacking save. They have no save heroes at all versus this Arena versus this Roar.
We're going to find out. It's game number 1 time. But before we head into that game, of course, we're going to check in with the coach. We're going to listen to Tsunami talk to AUI 2000.
Thank you very much. I am joined by the coach of Team Falcons, AUI, and let me say your reputation precedes you, because I know 3 years ago in Singapore, you, Snake King, and Skitter were terrorizing everybody with Wraith Pact. And now I come here to Hamburg, and everyone's hot on Helm of the...
Whoa, Princess. Care for a gank?
"30 seconds to battle. The battle begins.
Falcons versus Tidebound. Suns fan here with Cinderin, and I think this is the best series of the day. Honestly, I'm not going to be biased, but even the fact that Falcons can't micro, they're still very high skill players, Cinderin.
Yeah, AOI loves to take a jab at his teammates a little bit once in a while, but you know, if anything it has been indicative of this tournament, it's that, you know, the games just go late in general, and there are certain teams that thrive in that environment. I don't think it's any surprise that a team such as Falcons, Tidebound, as well as, of course, Extreme Gaming have been looking hot as well. A lot of exchanging here.
A lot of trouble. That's first blood already for Shiro and the Tidebound side. Great start for them.
Probably wasn't expecting the starting tri-lane here with the Muerta beginning in the top lane, and it pays off for starters. One of the benefits to offlane Timbersaw, of course, he is a lot more independent than many offlaners are. You give him a couple of levels, you can move around the map, and even on level 1 against a lane like Gyro Pugna, you don't have too much to be scared of. So yep, that was a very successful start for them. And a hero that you and we've seen completely take over games is the Marcy. There are just situations where you feel like this is unbelievably broken. And other games, it kind of looks meh. So if I could choose any hero for either team to get a good start in this game, that's the most impactful, and it would probably be that.
Yeah, I think she's the main reason that we are seeing Helm of the Dominator brought back as a mainstay at this tournament. Obviously can rebound off of it. Terrific at gaining a lot of farm, which Marcy can sometimes have trouble with before that first farming item comes to be. But as we look at the mid lane, Malrine is playing the Beastmaster versus Nothing to Say's Earthshaker. Good old melee versus melee matchup.
Yeah, it's one of those that you on paper would feel should just be a good lane for Shaker, but as of modern Dota, if you will, Beastmaster actually fares quite well here. I want to say it's a skill-based matchup, or if both players play their best, I would say it's kind of close, but I've seen Beastmaster win that lane, I've seen Shaker win it. So not a clear-cut one, unlike many of the other very one-sided mid lanes we've seen have been like Queen of Pain or Shadow Fiends against melee heroes. This one, I don't know, it's probably like a 55-45. Pretty close.
Yeah, well, I'll hold you to that. You've been wrong on pretty much everything at this tournament so far.
Yeah, we did predictions together. We got 1 out of 16. Did anyone in the crowd do worse than that? Yep.
No, apparently
that's right. We win. Woohoo!
Damn, we're good. That's why we get paid the big bucks.
Ironically, the one team we got right is in this series.
That's
That is
true.
Falcons.
That is
That we
true.
picked to make it out of elimination round. Everything else was wrong.
At the very least, the games have been ultra entertaining, so
Yeah.
can't really complain too much. I mean, even the Helm of the Dominator, people are talking about this item being picked up literally every game on multiple heroes. I think it's an exciting item, actually. Feels like it ramps up a lot of people's farm. It does make high ground a little bit harder because both teams are more farmed, and high grounding is a little bit easier as a result, but I think it's been some excellent quality games overall.
A lot of the time, what Dominator does as well is it just forces the teams to take out the trash a lot, right? Like, you always have to go and defend your waves because there's some pesky creep keeping you at bay, and naturally that will a lot of the time lead to stalled out games, which is a little bit ironic because if you think of Dominator historically, you think of a pushing item, right?
Yeah.
That's an item that you buy to 5-man, but a lot of the time in this tournament it's been used as a farming amplifier and just a split push tool. This game, not too many of those heroes though, right? Marcy will obviously get one. She's the #1 buyer of this item as far as how good it is, in my opinion. Mid Beastmaster has been a mixed bag. I don't think Malrine will buy it. According to AUI, he's incapable. So.
Yeah, we'll see. That's so far Malrine sitting on 15-7 in that mid lane versus the 20-7 of Nothing to Say, so slight advantage for Tidebound so far. Now, in terms of, I mean, not to continue this conversation about Helm of the Dominator, but you talked about it time and time again in this tournament, you need a hero that can kill those creeps.
Yeah.
Do you think Falcons have addressed that enough?
They're not the best, to be honest. I think Gyro is pretty good, but aside from that, their heroes do need to commit some time and effort to do it. So that definitely is a bit of an X factor. But Marcy will most of the time not use the Helm of the Dominator for split pushing, but rather play with it as a constant partner for rebound. So
yeah.
It's a little bit of a different nature with that particular hero running it. So I don't know how big of a concern that is. Did want to say, if you notice, a Bach or Faith Beyond is running a 1-1-2 build, which I would say is less common nowadays. He started 0-1-2. It goes to show that the mindset in this bottom lane for them is not to play aggressive. It's just he's meant to farm, and the more he frees up Muerta, the better. And the payoff in that is that Muerta has made a ton of stacks already. So Planet's been going to work here. On the flip side, Falcons with none.
Yep, as Wyatt taken out in the top. Amar going to take a little bit of damage in reciprocation, but he will get the better of the exchange, of course. I mean, that Gyro versus the Timber, so that's an old school matchup where typically don't have carries that can deal with a Timber Saw, but Gyro not too shabby.
Yeah, the classic ones, Gyro, Luna, of course, comes to mind. Just having ranged heroes that have magic damage, so you can pierce through the reactive armor. This ability has been rebalanced over the years, but there's still a subset of carries that just don't stand a chance.
Yeah.
The upside here for Faith Beyond is that by nature of laning 1v2 for the most part, he should get a fast 6. And at that point, perhaps you can threaten the Gyro a little bit in the lane.
Yep, well, the 6-minute power rune is upon us, and you can see that Falcons are quite pushed up, but Crit's actually spotted out and now glimpsed into the arms of Nothing to Say. He's not going to hit the enchant totem, the dead shot either, but still the kill will come for Nothing to Say. So Tidebound up 2-1. They're able to defend this tower.
Oh, this is important, Malrine.
Oh boy. Yeah, this
was
is big.
I believe this was a
stack.
quad stack that Planet committed so much time and effort to making, and now all of it going to be stolen away in front of his eyes. So that was I was pointing this out. This is one of the big benefits of Timbersaw is that your 4 can do this, but then if the enemy team takes it, you're effectively stacking.
Well, who's sadder? Is it Timbersaw or Earthshaker? Because we saw earlier today with BZM, got his stacks mostly stolen. His game just never recovered.
I think in this game you should have given them to Shaker to accelerate the high-impact team fight Rainmaker that you have.
Level 6, Invis Rune, and Planet will be the recipient of the first roar of the game. And that's an easy kill for Falcons, as they're actually on the doorstep here of a Wisdom Shrine take as well.
This is a very
big get.
Play. Just perfect timing.
They get both.
A great play call at the right time. That is the biggest win of this game so far for the Falcons side. Getting both Wisdoms means that Muerta and Disruptor are currently sitting on level 3, and Disruptor, Static Storm is pretty good this game. You're going to have to wait a long time for that. I think Pierce the Veil less important. comparatively, but
I think if the game goes 60 minutes, doesn't really have to worry about that too much as Shiro jumps right on top of Amar, back into the calling, so silenced up, trying to get to the north, be able to catch anything. Finally, the arena comes out, but actually gets decrepified at the last moment. Do they have damage to finish him off? He's actually finding this, and Shiro now the one in trouble, as Skeeter and Crit have come to help out. No kills will come from this. Let's hear it cheer just in general. All right, well, that was underwhelming, I'll be honest.
it also didn't deserve more than that.
Snaking under the tower, getting pursued by Faith Beyond. Looks like he'll eventually pick him up. Does take a beating in response, though, as after all of that, Skeeter actually gets picked off on the top lane.
Yeah, and I was going to point out, this whole top fight extending as long as it did was because of a rare missed dead shot from Planet. But in the follow-up fight, they do get an even bigger kill in the gyro.
Yep, Crit helped Malorine get the rune, but they are outnumbered. That's 4 versus 2. Using that haste rune to full effect to get to the north side. Has to be a little bit careful, though. Getting some bottles up, as nothing to say is going to continue the pursuit, but all for naught. We'll have to let the Beastmaster go, but still, great exchanges overall for Tidebound.
Yeah, Shiro starting to create some separation here. 3-0-0. He is up by about 600 gold over the opposing gyro. And now, with all of these moves being unsuccessful for Falcons, Faith Beyond is actually sitting second here on the Timber.
Yep.
Considering the laning start that he had playing the 1v2, for the most part, this is a very good look for him. And nothing to say is, of course, going to be losing in that equation as the mid shaker. They can't all have a good game at the same time, but they're stacks. So we'll get it back.
Finding stacks on the other side of the map this time, as Falcons very aware of the triangle at this stage, and Crit's aware of this as well, so he's going to leech a little bit of XP as a result. I mean, at this early state, Tidebound obviously with just a 1k lead at the moment, but whose shoes would you rather be in right now?
I think overall the game plan of Tidebound is unfolding a little bit better, specifically because of the gyro move top failing and leading to a death for Skitter. But there's no real cause for concern for either side. I think all the cores are at least somewhat enabled. Shaker is a bit behind, but will find his way back into this more than likely. Falcons only having 2 kills minute 10 is maybe a little bit surprising, though, but they have taken mid tower, which is a big objective, and surely top is on the menu sometime soon. Beastmaster loves to make this rotation, whether he has a Dominator or not.
Yep, Shiro found by Crit. Gonna be able to take a Satyr for himself. Amar looking for an opening, but not gonna follow through, it seems. First item will be the Blink Dagger, no big surprise. And looking at Shiro's farm right now, he of course has the Helm. I mean, do we see any variation on the Marcy builds these days?
I think every carry Marcy I've seen this tournament went Dom. But then after that, there is a little bit of variation. Sometimes you rush BKB. We've seen some people get 1 intermediary item. And after the BKB, I think there's a decent amount of room for creativity. Basher is classic, but you can see something like an Orchid in games where that is good. You can... Yeah, okay, that's not a lot of variety, is it? Daedalus sometimes, I guess, but it's not always the same.
Okay, well, nothing to say has a bit of a stack. Not the biggest we've seen, but this will be a nice, juicy Echo Slam for him. Didn't feel as good as I thought it would, if I'm being honest, but he'll get some nice farm at it nonetheless.
The sound plays a big role.
It really does.
It's just not really the same when you echo the Ancient Camp.
It's kind of an interesting thing that we've been seeing, though, because you can't really contest this if you're the other team, because if you get in the middle of this, it's just going to add to the Echo.
Yeah.
But all you can really do is try to steal a farm beforehand, which they did quite nicely. Amar, though, the recipient of this gank from Tidebound. That is an easy kill for Faith Beyond. They even find a lowly Snake King, gets glimpsed out of the TP. Double kill for Bach.
Yeah,
he's owning.
Not that there was anything spectacular about that from Y, but I just want to give him a mention here. I think this is his best hero of all time, and even in patches and metas where this hero is not particularly favored, it's a bit of a mixed bag in this tournament. Some teams like this, some teams don't touch it at all. But if Disruptor is playable, Y is going to play it. Tidebound have found massive success off of this, and look at him making his next move immediately.
Static Storm right on top of him. Absolutely no response available for crit. Still only level 5 at the 12.5-minute mark. 8-2 advantage for Tidebound, despite the gold lead basically being even at the moment. And I mean, I can't really look at the XP, but obviously that Wisdom Shrine steal from Falcons was a huge deal.
The thing that's pretty impressive about this is that now Y has been in 7 out of 8 kills, and as you mentioned, they did not get the Wisdom. So he was level 3 at minute 7, and he has still managed to accomplish this much. So a job well done. But side of Falcons, though, things are still completely stable. All 3 of your cores are having at least moderately good games, so they can keep progressing toward their key items. Seeing Amar here with his Mars approach, he is going for the 2 Bracer Soul Rings, same as pretty much everyone else, but he's going Blink. You and I have cast some Marses of, for example, XXS, who bypassed Blink entirely until like 3rd or 4th item. Not the case here. Amar wants to play more aggressive and set up his teammates for success. And it might overlap quite nicely with Malreen's Ags, which is about 1,000 away now. So those 2 items would be a strong timing for the side of Falcons, combining that with crits soon to be level 6. Big level up.
Indeed. Well, nothing to say, just got his Blink Dagger. We'll see if they get a smoke gank ready to go to reveal that bad boy. Has the Echo Slam up. Still only level 1 though, but can still get a nice kill with the +1. Planet will probably just push this wave and then they'll smoke shortly after, unless they want to continue to just play the slow game. Looks like the Wisdom Shrines will go for each side this time around, and there's the connection with the smoke. Even Shiro come into play with his Wild Wing.
Yeah, this is an interesting time to smoke. The Wisdom's coming up in 1 second. You're kind of in the middle of the map, so you're not covering them at all, but perhaps that makes this less predictable for the side of Falcons. Malreen will actually break one of them.
Yeah.
They don't know where he is, though.
Now, that's a very nice spot for Malreen.
Yeah,
that is a big
placement. Deal. They will now try to perhaps invade, but if you're going to invade for the Wisdom now, you're running through the lane through full vision, so not going to be the case.
Yeah, they spot nothing to say. Now they jump on top of them instead. This is a follow-up, though. Snaking coming with a nice Nether Blast. They've already taken out Planet. Nothing to say. Trickling away. The Mortimer's Kisses just hits them in the end. 2 kills for Falcons. Not only thwarting the initial smoke attempt from Tidebound, but absolutely crushing them afterwards.
Yeah, that's just beautiful.
That's the Blink reveal.
Yeah, it's just an outplay, right? You break the smoke. Malreen seemed aware that there's a move might be coming, so he took a good position. And as he breaks the smoke, they make their own move, and they get the Blink reveal play. That's, you know, the Shaker was looking for this one. So, a nice move for Falcons. No real objective to claim just yet. We're 15 minutes in, but they keep ramping up.
Yep, Amar, they want some revenge. They get the glimpse back into the Static Storm. He's pretty tanky. Doesn't look like reinforcements are coming, though. So will be a kill going the way of Tidebound. And for Shiro, that's 700 away from finishing the BKB. Which for Falcons, I mean, it's essentially Roar is the main counter to the BKB Marcy at the moment. Which, like you said, his Malreen's Ag's about to come now.
There's a bit of cause for concern here. So Timber was just top net worth, and now they're tied for first. This hero is 0-7 this tournament. So if you're doing well, you're just going to give more gold over to the enemy team when your hero inevitably has to lose. So got to be really careful with that.
What do you think the reasoning with that win rate is?
It's a good question. I don't personally think the hero is particularly bad. So it's not the biggest sample size, 7 games, but still,
well, it's not the hero's fault, it's the player's fault then.
Well, we cast Bach playing this against Extreme Gaming. That game, it didn't work out, but I don't know. I feel like we're going to see this hero a couple more times here on the big stage, and it's going to grab a win or two. The conditions in this game, in my opinion, are pretty good. They did pick it late and have some solid info. Went for the Kaya Sanj and now eyeing up BKB. Started with a casual Ring of Health that he's not converting into anything. A lot of the times you'll see this item used.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's quite rare nowadays, as a matter of fact, to just buy a value ring. But wanted it for the laning.
You could turn it into a Crimson later if you really want to, and against the Gyrocopter, not too bad, but maybe not the most traditional item for a Timber Saw.
Yeah, the more traditional will be Lotus. Playing against Roar, it's kind of nice.
Smoke revealed. Shiro leading the charge as Crit gets to the high ground, and he's going to get glimpsed back into the arms of Bach and just gets deleted. The roar counteraction from Malrine. Do they have the damage to cut through Shiro? He pops the BKB and dies instantly. First BKB of the game for him. Amar, though, stuck all alone. He's going to get bursted by Bach as it looks like Tidebound now on the retreat. The buyback came out from Crit in the meantime. So this is now a 4 versus 3 situation. That's a lot of damage from the Chakram from Bach, and he takes out Snake King easily. Now Malrine on the run. This is such a back and forth affair. Gets slowed to a crawl. Nothing to say with the Enchant Totem. As Bach, again, up front and personal. The cookie's not going to hit, but the last proc from Planet is enough to kill off Malrine. So despite losing their carry pretty much instantly, Tidebound able to bounce back quite a bit.
Honestly, that kill on the Pugna was just a beautiful sequencing of skills from Tidebound in that. And yeah, this was in spite of Shiro barely getting to play his hero in that fight. It was a really nice shot call from Malrine to go for the roar and the burst on there. They had just enough. If they have 10% less damage, Shiro starts getting off multiple volleys of attacks, but not the case. In spite of that, Tidebound definitely coming out ahead regardless. And you're seeing in these engagements so far, Bach is making a good case for Timbersaw. It's massive teamfight impact, and if his offlaner archetype hero doesn't do a lot of damage and you kill the Marcy, you win the fight there.
Yeah.
If he has a traditional offlane control hero like his Centaur that we've seen a lot of. So perhaps part of the rationale here for running this particular hero with Marcy is just that there's a second carry problem. Timbersaw, perhaps one of the... Would you agree it's actually the most carrying offlaner in terms of archetype? Like, I think this sometimes Timbersaw carries games in the off. There's not many offlane heroes that carry.
Yeah, it's definitely up there.
That's why Amar used to love it himself. He's won many a game on that hero.
Yep, very true. That's the reason our team got second at TI way back when, losing to Faith Beyond, of course. Still bitter about that.
Yeah, he's actually picking this because you're casting to remind you of Moo.
Yeah, those are some classic games. Only a 1K lead for Tidebound. I mean, I don't know about you. I was expecting this to be a very close series, and it's been entertaining thus far.
Yeah, we both agreed the most likely outcome was a 2-1, so I'm sure a lot of people out there share that sentiment, and at this point, 20 minutes in, don't really have any strong favorite for this one, so still keeping it close, and knowing Falcons, they're just getting warmed up. Another 60 minutes to go in this one.
Yep.
I was laughing so much backstage in the green room when I saw they had top 6 longest games of this TI. It's like unbelievable that
all of them over an hour.
Yeah, they were like all 70 plus.
All right, we have smokes on both sides because Tormentor has woken up.
That's right, they're in.
But it looks like this will be Falcons to take. Question is, can they withstand a fight afterwards? Amar gets the shard. And you can see Tidebound still continuing on. The heals are coming. Planet's going to show himself first with the dead shot. Can Falcons retreat, or do they actually want to fight? Amar gets off the rebuke. Instant pierce the veil, though, into the Mortimers. That's an easy kill for Snake King. There's Amar's Arena onto 2. Shiro the BKB. Looks like they might want to retreat, though, as the Disruptor's picked off. So Falcons holding that high ground is now the roar on top of Shiro. This would be an enormous kill for Amar and company. Beautiful spear into the trees. They got the stun lock. They got the kill on Shiro. 3 dead as Bach tried to save his carry. Now he has to retreat in shame. Has to Nightfall away with the BKB TP. So 3 dead. They lose the shard as well. Falcons coming out way on top.
Honestly, I'm a bit surprised that Tidebound went for that. They might have felt like, okay, they just took the Tormentor, they're going to be low, but you had no vision and no control of the area, and the enemy team is beautifully set up on Falcons there. Having the Pugna to heal up heroes after you take the Tormentor, including the Tormentor heal itself.
Yeah, the fact that they waited for the Tormentor heal to actually go into effect.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it, probably right away is the
Exactly. They were just too late, and it's easy to criticize because you're like, okay, you were too late, just call it off. But you feel so invested that you've already run your entire lineup up there that you're really tempted to take the fight. But Falcons were set up so much better, and Mars is just a godly hero in that area when you have the vision.
Oh, look at this. Tidebound. They're going to continue to get aggressive despite this BKB still being down for Shiro. Echo Slam right on top of the gyro. Gets feared back. Do they have the damage? It's going to be close, and finally Shiro coming in to finish the job. All 5 members of Tidebound here to watch Skeeter die.
The best hero they can kill. Gyro was...
And this opens up the Roche.
Yeah, and Gyro was close to BKB, so this is such a nice snipe for them to get at this exact moment. The Roche is the icing on the cake, and the reason that they went for it to begin with is if they find a meaningful pick, they know they can turn it into this. So you lost the Tormentor, but you got the Roche and the carry kill.
Tower is under attack.
If there hadn't been a fight up top, I would say clear advantage Tidebound overall in this exchange, but of course they did lose quite a bit in the top left corner prior to this. Now Shiro with the Aegis.
Indeed.
The glimpse.
Snake King glimpse back and will die eventually.
Well, he's pretty tanky.
He will die eventually. Surely gets Cookie to the high ground. And now the roar on top of Faith BL with a more nice zoning ult. They're going to get 2 kills on likelihood. Why's going to stay alive a little longer with the Epson shift, but the rebuke at the last moment takes out the Timber. That's 3 dead now. These fights make no sense. One team gets an objective, easily wins the fight. Next team with no resources wins the next fight. This is just back and forth.
And Snake King is just deceptively tanky, right? He's got Solar Crest, he's got Essence Ring with Brawny, so that's 400 HP on his neutral item, the Wand and the Cloak. He managed... I don't know if that was a fully premeditated bait. You're going to see the replay here, but notice how tanky he is here when he gets pulled in.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Essence Ring popped.
Y almost killed himself with the Nether.
Wait, he didn't? Oh, finally he used his Solar. Okay, so he used Solar when he was on 10%. That might have actually baited them to commit for that.
Yeah, that was nice.
Even a missed spear doesn't matter there for Amar. They're still contained in the area. And Tidebound unable to bring additional cores to the fight.
The good news for Tidebound is they still have that Aegis for another 3.5 minutes. Feels like every BKB charge for Shiro so far has been just... It hasn't had any effect on the fights. He's died pretty much instantly after. But having that second life should theoretically help the cause. But now they're on a 6k deficit.
Yeah, this is the first meaningful lead of the game where we're starting to approach that one additional key item mark. Skitter has finished his BKB, which is a big one. And you're approaching Amar. He's actually queuing up Refresher next. He does not have all that much mana pool for this. He has to be careful with the usage. Obviously running 3 points in Bulwark. Wow. Usually you see Marses take 1 Bulwark and then stats specifically to enable themselves to go Refresher earlier.
I feel like this is the fastest Refresher that I've seen on Mars. If he continues. Yeah. 3rd item, basically.
It would be very early.
Like we've seen Yules in the past from Amar. Help set up his spear.
Yeah.
But indicates that they just want to brawl it out. As Nullifier now online for Shiro. So don't have to worry as much about the Decrepify.
This is a really important item that they've been lacking so far, and now being able to dispel the Solar Crest and Decrepify in one go is definitely big. But the problem that Tidebound has found themselves in a lot of fights is locking down the target so Shiro even gets to attack. And when he does get in there, he still needs to worry about the roar. So it's not that easy. Set it up, and Falcons with... I would say, you know, classic Falcons fashion now. You're playing against Aegis. They're going to just be farming the map, pushing the lanes, trying to stall out the game. Probably knowing that... I guess that's an interesting question here is there a clear favorite if this does go the hour mark? I think that's a valid concern or consideration whenever Falcons enter the game.
Yeah, would you like to talk about tier 5 neutrals yet? We can do that.
They have such a massively big subset of their games go the distance, so... Might as well start planning for it.
Yeah, who would you choose then?
I feel like it's kind of close, really. Disruptor Ags is a true wild card in the late game. That's a concern you have to deal with against the side of Tidebound. Planet, of course, can start scaling. His Muerta is currently going Atos into Ags, which is very standard on position 4. Once you get Octarine, as well as a full Gleipnir, this hero becomes a true late game menace. Just all that low cooldown AoE control. Shaker is a late game monster, so they definitely have some of their own, but of course Falcon's side, you've got Gyro, you got late game Beastmaster, 2 arenas, Snapfire.
Yeah, we have seen that hero pop off.
Yeah.
Even without the right click variation. Just that 25 talent with the globs. Crazy damage. Of course, that's 35 minutes away, so...
so much to look forward to.
That's right.
I mean, we both know we're going to get there.
Falcons sure can't end games. That's something we've learned at this tournament, no doubt about it.
Well, so far, they've not been in a position to, so, in this one. In the tournament, can't speak for all games, but...
True. 30 seconds on Aegis. Shiro and company look like they want to make a move, potentially.
They gank some boars. They kill one of them.
So looks like Lincoln's is going to be the next item for Shiro. He's been getting roared a little bit too often.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Does feel like a requirement this game.
And he's also chosen a vast serrated Shiv, so he does have a little more attack range. It's clear that the mindset he is in is, I'm struggling to stick on targets, so he'll do whatever he can to find the opportunity to do that. And neutral item plus Lincoln's will be a big help. What can they break Lincoln's with? Decrep, homing missile. That's it.
Well, there's going to be a Hurricane Pike for Skeeter.
It's pretty good this game. A lot of the time when you buy Lincoln's for a specific target, there's still additional problems that could proc it, but here it's not that many. And keeping in mind, Snaking went for the pipe, so Aetherland's still some ways away for him. And Decrepify cast range, not the best without that. Trying for the smoke.
Yeah, why? Ooh,
oh, Amar with a miss.
Yeah. Thought somebody was there, not the case. We'll retreat now.
Yeah, now it gets awkward. When you've broken your smoke on your initiator, you might just call off the play.
And like you said, the Aghanim Scepter online for Planet, and this is a huge deal. This is, I don't know if you'd agree on this, this is a top 10 Ags for me, easily.
It is so good.
Crazy good. Being able to increase the width of the dead shot by a very, very high degree.
It's actually an interesting item on carry as well when you go for the other facet. Now he has Supernatural, or rather he has Dance.
Mara caught off guard, gets glimpsed back into the arms of Shiro, gets decrepified though, it's going to save him a bit. That's a huge kill out to Shiro out of nowhere. Didn't bother with the BKB and suffers the consequences.
Uh-oh. That looked kind of promising.
To be fair, he's been dying in BKB every time, so he's like, what if I don't hit it this time?
Yeah,
well, same result it seems.
If he BKB nullifies there onto the Mars, I think perhaps this fight goes differently, but just wasn't expecting to getting caught off, and you have to BKB and get roared. Yeah, you just have to. Because if Falcons are going to burn the roar on you during your BKB, they probably can't burst you 100 to 0 anymore. Gyro more or less a split damage carry rather than the focus fire single target. And you are freeing up the fight for your Timbersaw to carry it, right? Bach has big items to get in there and cause a lot of havoc with Ags now with BKB to protect it. But if you just die on the spot there, you're not allowing your teammates to shine in the fight.
Up as Malrine will be going for the refreshers, so lots of refreshers planned on the side of Falcons. It looks like, yeah, it looks like Amar is still going for the refresher first. I thought he might change his mind when he realized his mana.
He switched to Aetherlands.
Oh, you're right. He does have an
he bought an in-between item.
Okay.
I feel like he is almost the only player in the world who buys this item on Mars. I could be wrong, but I just connect this item with him in particular, using it as an intermediary way of getting that mana that he needs for the refresher. He uses it for the extra cast range on Spear, of course, and the cast range on Arena should not be underestimated. It gives you some nice additional plays with Blink spearing into Arena being easier to pull off.
Oh, Planet forces the issue from Amari, gets off his ult, it's going to force the BKB out of Shiro. There's the roar from the other side on Malrine. Do they have the damage this time to cut through Shiro? It's going to be close. He's really low, dies inside of his own rebound. Another death for the carry of Tidebound as Bach with that Aghanim Scepter. Boom, boom time. Gets off. Oh, the Yules actually activates because the BKB ended early, and now the Rocket Barrage upon him. Static Storm to try to save their offlaner. It is not happening for Tidebound. And now Y on the retreat. He's holding a gem. This would be a pretty big kill for Falcons. Looks like he will be able to walk away, but still Falcons super happy with being able to kill Shiro first again.
It really just seems to be the deciding factor of this game so far is, does Shiro get jumped and how do Tidebound respond? Their lineup doesn't have save, so whenever Shiro is caught, you can't just protect him. They haven't itemized defensively either. The Muerta having Atos Ags and the Disruptor going for Blink. There's no Solar Crest, there's no Glimmer Cape. Just no mitigation to be found anywhere for Shiro when he becomes the primary target. So it begs the question, are you approaching the fights correctly? Should you just full-on YOLO in with your Timbersaw first and try to draw attention to yourself so Marcy gets to play? As this has gone so far, I think this is the 4th or 5th fight in a row that Shiro just gets stunned up and more or less killed 100 to 0.
Yeah.
So
and another
Falcons now with a commanding lead, 13k.
Absolutely.
Tormentor for Beast.
And that's the other thing. They've gotten 2 Tormentors, and the 50-50 on both has been favorable because Pugna has not gotten the shard yet. It's gone to Mars and now the Beastmaster.
Yeah.
So Falcons, again, going to be happy.
They just got 2 refreshers. Beast and Mars have leveled up massively. If Tidebound were struggling to deal with the first round of BKBs, well, you're going to have a second problem now. Even more pressure onto Shiro. If you don't manage to get his physical damage input in the fight, I just don't think Falcon's lineup dies.
Well, Roche number 2 is underway. We'll see if this ends up being a free one for Falcons.
Yep, not gonna roar this one, as it is. The first one went to Tidebound. And they'll probably put it on Malrine, I guess, or? No, well, they both made an inventory slot. They were unsure, or maybe he was just freeing up the slot.
Yeah,
for the
I'm
gem.
sure they were having a very civilized discussion, and then Skeeter just takes it.
Skeeter
Understandable.
said, me carry, and took it.
Exactly.
He's almost got Daedalus now. He is starting to have a pretty strong inventory now at 33 minutes. Now, not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but this one does not feel like a 70-minute game to me right now.
Yeah, there's the jinx. Remember this moment, everybody. 33 minutes in the game. Cinderin was quoted as saying that.
I mean, the fans want their money's worth in the audience. They want to be here all day. Go home at 2 a.m. Why? Hiding. Oh, if those axes were thrown the other... Oh, he's going to be spotted by the boars.
Yeah,
he is
Mallory
so dead.
Finds Y, and this is the gem. So he did hold on to it for a lot longer than I was expecting, but a nice pickup again for Falcons, getting pretty much everything they want on the map.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Now, in terms of the Lincoln's timings for the side of Tidebound, because it does feel like the Roar has just been the end of these fights effectively. Nothing to say. I think he's finished, actually, so just needs to be delivered, and Shiro just roughly halfway there.
Yeah, because he switched up for the Basher instead of the earlier Lincolns, which might have come back to bite him, honestly, like these fights with how they've gone. Now he can maybe hope for a good setup where Nothing to Say gets to put the Lincolns on the Marcy, and then if he has his own.
How much damage do you think Shiro has done to enemy heroes this game? Feels like he's just dying first every time.
A few thousand at most.
It's got to be one of the lower on the
team. But yeah, speaking of that, I also haven't felt much Shaker impact. I just think Falcons have done such a good job at making it difficult for these 2 melee heroes to get in there up close and personal and actually land.
He's actually leading the team in hero damage. That's quite surprising.
That is surprising.
Barely.
That is concerning, I would say. If it feels like he's dying so fast, nobody is soaking up the space in the fights. They just can't.
And Falcons doing what Falcons do best. They're starving out the map. The problem is it feels like this tournament, this isn't working as effectively for whatever reason. Typically, you just methodically take the Roshan, you push the lanes in, you get all the tier 2s, then you wait for the next Roshan, then you finish the game. It was like that for a while, but the high ground has been quite difficult. We've seen many leads just evaporate with the first high ground push.
And Tidebound do have a spicy lineup to push into. Now that the Gleipnir is completed on planet, it makes it even harder. All of these low cooldown AoE stuns and displacement abilities are very powerful on your high ground, and of course the Ags, where it's a dead shot, does both. It is both a fear and a reposition. You've got Shaker Fissures to worry about, Glimpse. If you ever overextend, you know you're being pulled back. So I think Falcons will take their time. Shocking. And just control the map.
Yep, they're definitely savoring this. 3K gold onto Skeeter.
They do have a banner ready on crit, and Skeeter is showing intent on going high. They're actually going in here.
Well, they do have Aegis for 2 minutes, so Roche banner placed. They want to, at the very least, poke. You can see Faith Beyond trying to aggro the crease, but the 2 siege units will still remain at the base. So this tower almost certainly going to fall, as Skeeter more than happy to throw away 1 life. Well, the fissure blocks them off, actually pretty good. Let the Force Staff onto the other side, and now the barracks exposed for Falcons to take, and this is going to be the first range racks down in this series.
The thing is, this isn't a theoretically surprising play to go for this, because I think you're in a great spot to do it. We've just, like you said, if we go back 2 months, this would be the most obvious play. That Falcons would do this. There's just been so many failed high ground attempts this tournament and so much stalling.
Oh, nothing to say.
But They're in firm control, and this is just a matter of time.
Looks like they'll give up the full lane as the siege units will finish the job. So Falcons successful in their first endeavor on the base of Tidebound.
And the only trade-off for Tidebound is that Marcy gets to free farm in the meantime. So they have made the judgment call that fighting into this Aegis without Lincolns is just too difficult. So they will sacrifice one lane now. The Lincolns for Marcy is only a few hundred away. Actually, I'm probably overstating that. About 1,000 away. And they have the one on Shaker. So with these two Lincolns, perhaps they can look for a fight finally. It's been a very long time since Tidebound has seemed interested in engagements. But that's also a really big part of the reason why Beastmaster's just been such a high-rated hero this tournament, right? He's being banned in so many games, first picked in the rest of them almost, it feels like.
Yeah.
Just a very, very powerful hero, can be flexed between mid and off lane, buys great items. Yeah, very strong. And Malrine, no different. Ironically, he is playing a micro hero, so you'd think he could buy Dominator if he can micro this one.
True.
It's easier to micro.
The Hawks you don't need to do much with these days.
That's true.
Though.
It's just the Boars.
Nothing to say. He's going to reveal himself, but we'll get the Blink TP.
Oh, he got the literal perfect neutral item, by the way. He got the
Dazoon.
The timeless Dazoon Bloodright. This has to be the best possible item you can get as Shaker in tier 4. Bigger AoE on everything, and the Spell Amp and the longer stuns will very much come in handy. And there it is. They're going to look for that exact play. Aegis expired, you have 2 Lincolns. But now, of course, with how long this took, Falcons have items of their own. Skitter has Satanic now, so he's a tough target. Amar has
He is completely isolated.
He does have... He can combine his Eon Disc right now on Amar, so... If he's the primary target, he can save himself. This is not easy for Tidebound.
Yeah, it looks like they just get a couple wards down, and we'll have to wait in all likelihood for the next Roche, which they absolutely have to fight. And of course, their lineup is unbelievably scary in an isolated area like that, or in a contained area. You have all this AoE, not even included the Dazoon Bloodrights that you're bringing up. Timbersaw. You got the Echo Slam from the Earthshaker. You have the Calling is something you cannot ignore. And of course, Static Storm. We've seen it so many times turn the tides of fights.
And their arguably best AoE spell out of all of them, Deadshot.
Yeah,
and
now that he has Ags, absolutely.
That one's available all the time. 10-second cooldown with the Gleipnir as well. Yeah, this is still, make no mistake, 17k is absolutely a big lead, but it is possible for Tidebound to find one singular good fight and swing the game almost on its head, or at least catch up fully. But so far, based on how well Falcons have navigated all of these fights and avoided disaster, it's hard to see them just fully blunder this until a Roche fight. They have so much control of the map, so good wards out. And of course the gems, like you covered, are in their favor.
So what's the next power spike for Tidebound? Because I think we both agree they're going to have to fight at this next Roche.
Shaker Refresher is a big deal, and he almost has it.
Okay.
On Nothing to Say. So I would say that is the best next spike they have. Muerto is eyeing up Blink, but didn't buy it. I think Planet might be saving for buyback instead.
Oh, Disruptor's only 4,200 gold away from Aghanim Scepter, so...
Just an Ags away.
That's right. Very ambitious for Y, but of course he's seen a lot of these games go late, so can't really blame him. And
now, unfortunately, he didn't get greedy. I'm assuming he was offered greedy when he took Timeless Outworld Staff. Because this is indeed the type of game where Disruptor might be one of the single best supports in Dota to take greedy on, because you almost never attack anything. Even when you're farming, it's oftentimes you just throw a Thunderstrike on the wave and back off because you want to be hidden and be a threat on the map with Glimpse.
no, nothing to say is going to show. Malrine and company would love to get a pick off before this Roche spawns. Still has not come up yet, though.
Another attempt. Glimpse on Amar.
Glimpsed out. Will not be KB away. Smoke. Oh, there's the Echo Slam. There's the opening under the Gyrocopter. It's going to be able to blow him. Skater, he's dead. Just like that. as Malrine gets off another roar, but now this is in full retreat mode. They do have buyback on the gyrocopter if they want to use it. Fissure's going to connect onto the Pugna. Snake King is tankier than he looks, of course. Bach, his Agnum Scepter does proc his crit with the Mortar Kisses. There's the Mars Arena from Amar himself. Lots of damage onto Shiro with the double spear to follow. Shiro's dead. Bach follows suit. No buybacks needed from the side of Falcons as they somehow turn this.
Even though Skeeter dies first, they have to commit so much for that, and Amar finds a beautiful angle. That spear was...
Oh, the cancel of the TP. Wide does get off another glimpse, but we can see the TP from Malrine. He wants a piece of this, and he'll get it. Denies a bounty rune, though. Good job to Y.
That gets tipped for that. Nice heads-up play. Yeah, that was the timing for Tidebound, right? And they kind of lost that. At least it was like
it looked good at first.
A draw at best. And it is, of course, it is a limitation of their lineup that in order to burst and commit on this gyro, since he is as tanky as he is with 4,300 health, you have to pop a lot of stuff. They used multiple BKBs. They used Refresher on Shaker. Marcy used the majority of her ult. And when that BKB on Marcy runs out, she kind of seems to be getting kited a lot.
Yeah.
In this game, so might have to itemize to solve that problem. Currently thinking about Abyssal, that would help keep people in place.
This opens up Roche number 3 for Falcons.
Okay, if they really want this speed. And yeah, don't blame them, they kind of need it. They have the outpost. Okay, if the outpost was not under Falcons' control, this could have got really interesting.
Skeeter trying to rush himself into the pit because he really wants that Aegis.
They'll get it.
They'll leave it for him. It takes a while to find it with all those items dropping to the ground, but Roche has been vanquished. 5 minutes of that Aegis now. And next up on the list for Falcons, a second lane and potentially the game if they win this next fight. But Tidebound, again, have to say it, if they don't get picked off beforehand, this high ground defense is pretty scary to look at.
Yeah. They will have a banner again, though. This can be a big help.
They're not going to waste any time. Falcons right away.
Yeah.
Wave getting cleared, though, so no Roche banner placed yet. Skeeter already in half HP. We'll get healed via the Pugna, so not going to use the Roche banner until now. This tower looks to be dead. There is a fortification online for Tidebound.
Dire's middle tower.
Black Cannon. As Amar jumps in very deep, gets off the arena. They're going to focus on the buildings for now, so maybe this is just... It's just going to die to the Mortimer, so Planet. No chance at all, as that's a second lane for Falcons. Glimpse back, Malrain's going to get Echo Slam with the Fissure to follow. He's going to get E-bladed, though, nothing to say. Does get the kill with the last Fissure. There's the buyback, though, as Skeeter disposed back into the Static Storm. Pops the BKB, healing up thanks to the Pugna and a little bit from the Satanic as well. And you can see Shiro left all alone. He's roared and killed. 90 seconds of no mercy as a cheese eaten up by Skeeter, and they're going to go for full megas, if not just the throne outright.
They didn't even get his Aegis there. They kill the Beastmaster, he has buyback. There's just so many lives to get through.
Yeah.
You have to commit so much to kill one core one time.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, this Pugna pick has been pretty valuable. Deadshot can make things a little bit more annoying as Skeeter, all he wants to do is get to that top side of the map, but they keep blocking him. All of these obstacles, as there's the roar from Malrine right on top of Muerta. That is a death for Planet. No way to get back in the game. Second one reserved for Y. He buys back, though. And this is going to be potentially the last defense for Tidebound in this game number 1. But it's going to be 5 versus 3, not including the Aegis, which still has a full 3 minutes.
Yeah, Skeeter just seems invincible. 5k HP and 30 armor and a Pugna. The Pugna life drain has been such a big deal. Tidebound would have been able to defend and stall out for so long against the carry, but all of their damage just get nullified.
And that is Mega Creeps.
This is a fast game for Falcons, Shannon. 46 minutes?
I still believe this will go 60 minutes some way, somehow. Bach gonna get speared into his own tier 4. Lincoln's actually does proc thanks to that primal roar. And you can see the gyrocopter not too worse for wear because the Pugna's still on the back line, healing him up. Not much Tidebound can do here as the tier 4 is about to drop to the deck. Amar getting harassed a bit. Muerta back in 30 seconds. Right now, it's still a 5 versus 4 in favor of Falcons. Throne completely exposed now as Shiro going in for one last-ditch effort. They're just going to block off. Wagner still in range, though. And this life drain, they just can't do anything about it. Amar, Arena, right on top of Bach. Now the magic damage coming from Skier with the right click as well. Bach is dead. Buys back instantly. There's roar number 1 for Marcy. Echo Slam a little bit too late as Shiro is already dead. And nothing to say, has to walk back in shame as a triple Arena from Amar as the GGs come out. Falcons take game number 1.
And that was... It was an interesting first 15 to 20 minutes that were back and forth, but Falcons found one good fight, started getting that 6K lead that we talked about, and after that, every single subsequent fight, they have Shiro's number, they keep good formation, so they never get wombo comboed by Shaker and Timbersaw, never really got into trouble against the Muerta Ags. Didn't really feel all that impactful, to be honest, when it came out.
Yeah.
So credit where it's due. They did a very good job positioning their
double ban those two heroes, we can see a completely different style from Falcons. Plus, Shadow Fiend, the Nature's Prophet TPing as well. We're going to expect tri-lanes from minute 3, 4 very early on, and that creates the tempo. We already know that Centaur should be independent, so tri-lane Amar with 2 supports and a Shadow Fiend, get some kind of moves going your way. I don't mind it.
It's very good for what it does on the lane, but I do worry that as the game progresses and these like big tanky heroes on Falcons get these harpoons and these VKVs and get on top of the SF, there's not really much of a way to...
You can invade.
With a good start, they can absolutely invade. You can push in the lane with your SF, with your Disruptor, walk over, your Nature's Prophet, he can TP, place a ward. I think they're set up way better this game.
Any final words and thoughts on these 2 drafts, Effie?
I just worry that if Tidebound don't come out of with like at least a 4K net worth advantage, like minute 12, I don't really see how the game is going to be played out for them because they're going to get outscaled and outfarmed.
A lot of pressure on this game number 2 that is coming your way. But before we jump in the game, we're going to jump on stage where Tsunami is with Coach Blink.
That is right. I am standing by with Blink of Tidebound, where I gotta say, this matchup against Falcons during the road was one of the best series that we have had. And now we're getting the rematch. But it seems that they've made some adaptations, so I was wondering what you think they've changed to get that game number 1 win.
那上周呢，在国际邀请赛之路上，就是 Falcons 战队的对决，你们太棒战队是其中一个最精彩的对决了。然后呢，这次感觉他们已经做出了一些调整来应对你们的一些做出了应对你们的一些战略。就想问你，你个人认为他们做出哪些调整呢？
他首先是他们班人吧，他们开始办我们狼人，办我们冰魂，办一些没有那么常规的英雄，就是他们可能回去深思熟虑的一些东西吧。
Well. Team Falcons have definitely done their homework. Their bans are now much more effective. They're now banning heroes like Lycan, heroes like Ancient Apparition, which are not usual bans, but are bans that are very much our hero pool, so they've definitely done their work here.
They have been doing their homework indeed, and I was wondering if I could get your perspective. The Western audience, we see you, we see Y, we see Faith Beyond or Bach, and we immediately put the term Wings 2.0 to you, but I wanted to know how you felt about that.
就是国外的、海外的这些观众呢，粉丝社区，他们看到你们战队，看到Y 队，看到边将，看到你，就是他们脑子里面想的就是太棒战队，就相当于是 Wings 2.0。那你对这种看法有什么评价呢？
还是有一些区别的吧。我们现在就是太棒的。
There is some difference after all, and you guys can now know us as Team Tidebound.
The new era is upon us, and let us witness it as we get into game number 2. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tsunami and Blink. Welcome to said game number 2, Tidebound versus Falcons. Winner of this moves on to through the upper bracket, while the loser goes to the lower bracket. Cinderin, we're gonna see the last time we cast Faith Beyond on Centaur.
Oh, yeah.
Now, to be fair, they did lose, but it was the most entertaining game that we got to cast.
Yeah.
With all of the carts, with refreshers. I really, I know we were teasing this, or maybe some people don't enjoy it, I don't know, but the late game Dota between these 2 teams is something to truly behold, and I hope we get there this time.
And I believe the game you're referring to was one of the games against Extreme, where Extreme had offlane Undying.
Yeah.
That was insane. That was the most exciting, and I would say high-skill game that we got the pleasure of casting during the Swiss stage. Now, as Blink said in the interview, Falcons have done some very good adaptations, and that's obviously one of the concerns that you have as the teams coming out the winners or the high scorers of those stages is the other teams get some time to figure out how they beat you. And this break that we've had in between the Swiss and the final stage here, Falcons have clearly prepared, very much so targeted at this opponent, as they should. It's their first one. You've got plenty of time to figure that out. Will be interesting to see in the future days when you have less time, how fast you will learn from the few games you get to see now from here on out. But yeah, the bans in particular really show a bigger adjustment. I would argue Falcons have made a much bigger adjustment against Tidebound than vice versa in the strategy. I'm not too surprised with what Falcons are getting to run in these games.
Yeah, I completely agree. And we were talking about this the other day, the fact that historically Chinese Dota has been extremely good at late game Dota, whereas kind of in the early stages. They've been struggling as of recently, but feels like Falcons, if it does go late, they're no strangers to this type of gameplay anyway.
Yeah. I would love to see a late game between these two teams where nobody is really far ahead. I think the last game, the advantage for Falcons just became way too big at around 30, 35 minutes. If the game is close, the teams are going to be delivering at a very high level. So fingers crossed for that. Now, as far as the lineups go, I do think it's more likely this game that this one will be slower, actually. Effie brought up a good point on the panel about the tankiness of Falcons' cores if things go according to plan for them, but I don't necessarily think a mid-game portion for them will be that easy. However, it's also not going to be the easiest task for Tidebound to build a big lead. Because how will they find multiple successful fights where they come out far ahead against this lineup? Tough to see. You have Disengage of Naga, you've got a Baden who's like the hardest carry in Dota to kill. At least one of them. Bristle back off lane. Tall order.
Yep, very true. Abaddon has been extremely powerful in this tournament, and the last few months at the very least as a position 1. Nice pushback from Crit as he gets away from this potential death. See 3 members of Tidebound in the area, and that's the beauty of having the Nature's Prophet, which started out as the best hero of the patch. And where would you rate it now? Because, I mean, obviously it's always had this flex potential.
It's still up high. I think it's just a very high skill hero, because I'm not specifically because of the spell casting. Like casting spells with Prophet is very simple, but using its map presence correctly.
Yep, Amar taking a lot of raises, wants to get aggro though, pops the stick as Shiro now is the one he's pursuing, but this looks like it might be the death of Amar, but first Planet goes down. That is a huge deal, so first blood actually going to Falcons, but of course Shiro getting the kill onto the core. He's going to be at least a little bit satisfied with that.
Still, it's a 3v2 situation. That's a great result for Falcons in that exchange to get the first blood and just overall trading. Even if they didn't get the first kill, it's still quite good in the circumstances. But Amar is an absolute master at Bristleback. I think one of the things that sets him apart from most other Bristles, in my opinion, is his ability to... It's small moments like that, those snippets where you just watch how he turns his hero. It sounds so basic, but honestly, if you look at his gameplay on this hero against the majority of the field, even other like top 5 Bristleback players, I just think he's the absolute best at these high pressure moments where he is the target, at rotating around, getting as much mitigation as possible while still doing his output. A lot of the time, the best play on Bristle is literally standing still.
Yep,
like he did
true.
there. So pretty cool to see.
So what kind of build do you want to see from him this game then, with the lineup in mind?
I mean, currently he's eyeing up Blade Mail. I think that's a very good choice into Shadow Fiend and Puck. I think you just want to reflect a lot here. Aside from that, Sanj and Yasha seems fine. I think BKB should be on the menu at some point. Lotus Orb could also be very good, which, you know, when I list all of Bristleback's best items and I like all of them in the game, it probably means it's a pretty good pick for that game. So, not sure I have a favorite order, but I do think Lotus, Blade Mail, and BKB should all be in it at some point.
6-minute power rune. Malreen's going to be sprouted and will be greeted with a shield rune activating right underneath him. So we'll be bottling that up as he's going to get the burrow. Mr. Harass, nothing to say a bit, as he's sitting on 43-5 versus the 41-2 on the Puck. So extremely even in this mid lane. Is this what you would expect in a normal Puck versus Sand King matchup?
Probably. The way Malreen played the lane is he just cuts waves, right? He pulls the waves together and then sandstorms them, so effectively he just trades. Maybe sometimes you can come out slightly ahead if you also integrate neutral camps well or whatever, but yeah, I'm not too surprised to see this overall result.
Is there going to be a play for the Wisdom Shrines this time? It doesn't. Well, as I say that, Malreen and Snake King are going to be greeted by Bach next to the tree line. Sand King tries to get off his ult, but it's instantly canceled. Coil is going to be expended. Malreen does not activate the ult as of yet. Tries to Burrow Strike out of the glimpse, but it's not happening. It's nothing to say. He's going to greet Snake King. Likely a death to his name is Skeeter. Now to 1 versus 2. Malreen's going to try to accompany him at the moment. Snake King, one more right click will do it for nothing to say. We'll be able to clip him with the Illusory Orb, but the bigger kill is onto Skeeter. Malreen, though, with the Epicenter, misses the Burrow Strike, but still gets the kill on the Centaur, and he takes the Shrine of Wisdom as well. So despite being outnumbered, Falcons getting the better of that.
Just like in game number 1, they get both Wisdoms minute 7.
I was not expecting them to actually be able to get it this time, though.
No.
I mean, the thing is, Tidebound was actually ready for that too.
Yeah, it's a pretty good showcase of some of the things the panel was talking about with damage issues, right? This support duo of Prophet Disruptor do not deal much damage in the early game. So you just run over there with your tanky heroes and with a Photic Shield, and who's going to kill them if not Shadow Fiend? We've got a bit of poke damage from Puck and Centaur. That doesn't cut it, especially with Bach's skill build of 3 points and Retaliate. So,
yeah, to be
really
fair,
too surprised with that outcome.
Yeah. I mean, that is pretty normal, though. You got to get farm on Centaur.
Oh, of course. I'm not blaming his item build, or skill build. I'm just saying you just don't have that much damage to kill the Same King there. They kind of had to disengage when he got a Photic Shield on him, and he just pursues.
As Tidebound will find a nice nifty stack that Falcons have been working on. Of course, Falcons one of the more active stackers in Dota, and Shiro even coming in to clean it up. So very nice state there for Tidebound.
Yeah, that's a good steal.
Well, we get to see the Centaur Helm of the Dominator. I believe he went that in the game that we cast as well.
I think
it does amplify his farm a decent amount, but this, with the 3 in return, like you said, this is going to be farm mode for Faith Beyond right now.
The funny thing is we've seen a lot of uncharacteristic traditionally heroes going for the Helm of the Dominator, right? But when you think about it, it actually makes a ton of sense on Centaur, because you get HP regen, which is what he really wants in lane. You get 6 armor. This hero has very bad armor, but very big strength growth. So your EHP per armor on this hero is second to almost none. And therefore, if it is a patch for Dom, it just makes sense for Centaur to want to pick it up.
Makes sense thematically as well. With Stampede, you want more animals, aside from your teammates, of course, to be able to take part. Such a beautiful spell. Remember when that used to stun initially when it came out?
Oh, yeah.
Good times.
That was when you peaked in MMR those 2 days.
Yeah, I was ranked 6 in the world. Thank you, Cinder. I was not going to bring it up, but since you did, I will.
No, I didn't bring up your ranking in the world. I just said you gained MMR.
Yeah, something like that.
Yep.
Malrine trying to defend this mid lane. Has that Sandstorm up, of course, with that facet that applies the blind when he attacks. Can be quite annoying to deal with. The fact that that works on towers is crazy, by the way. But it is interesting, because I can't think of another spell that works similarly like that. You can't stun a tower, can you? Oh, maybe there is actually a spell that can stun, technically. I would have to think about that.
Off the top of my
I'll give you the rest of the game to think of that one. As Mask of Madness now online for Shiro. You can see the pressure being applied to this tier 1 as Shiro shows up with Planet as well. And it looks like this is going to be a nice pickoff for Tidebound. Will it turn into anything else, though? Malrine, he's going to be spotted. Glimpse back into the kinetic field. Nice bushwhack, going to slow them down a bit. Coil applied, but that's not going to really turn into much as the numbers have come from Falcons. Skeeter leading the way. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Has not leveled his ult as of yet, so does have to be a bit careful.
Yeah, I'm surprised they just let them have that tower. Considering you got both Wisdoms and the 2 enemy supports are level 5, you're oftentimes not in a position to just brute force like this. But a successful play call. Falcons were uninterested in bringing over the resources. And let's be honest, if they really wanted to defend that, they could have. That was a choice. If MR TPs, I think you don't lose that. You just place the Bristle back in front, and that's the end of it. Instead, they're letting them take the mid tower, and now Bach up top as well. Decently big wave with Siege Creep too.
Absolutely.
See if they do anything about this one.
Centaur left to his own devices can certainly push to a decent degree, especially with a Helm on top of it. Not going to tank up the tower for now, as there's still a siege unit on it, so this looks like another tower for Tidebound, playing super fast in this game too.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Crit on Y, a little bit of poke here. A rotation from Nothing to Say a little bit too late to be able to find a coil. Now Crit will make a move of his own together with Malrine. That's that Blink reveal. I think the dream kill here is to get Puck, the Blink Epi into Bushwhack stun combo.
A 12-minute rune is bottom. It's a haste as there's the stun onto Nothing to Say with the Bushwhack to follow, and the Sharpshooter is enough. Big kill for Falcons.
Yeah, good judgment call there. I thought the Epicenter might have been necessary, but they do have enough in the tank. I don't think that was a very big overkill, but it was good enough.
Glimpse onto Amar. I'm not sure why wants any of this smoke, though. He will now retreat. and Malorine will greet him. As Stampede is used, but I think he is dead anyway. Yeah, drops to the deck. So a Stampede down and another support kill for Falcons.
Radiant structures are fortified.
And looking at the side of Tidebound to see what power spikes are incoming. Dragonlance soon coming online for Shiro. Faith Beyond, Blade Mail not too far away as well. As the Witchblade now completed for nothing to say, so looks like Blink is next on the menu for him. Okay, this is a real question. Before this would be a meme, but because it was so prevalent in the game that we cast, how fast can Faith Beyond go for the cart, Cinder? And everybody wants to know. Like, is this a pipe game? Do you need to go for that against, well, essentially Sand King, right?
I don't think you need to go pipe. He's also eyeing a Blade Mill over it right now.
Oh, Blade Mill into what, though?
I think you can go Blade Mill, Blink Axe. Probably get...
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
And who do you want in your cart? The Shadow Friend?
It's pretty sick with Shadowfiend. You can drive him into Requiem.
Yeah.
That is a very strong combination. And of course, one of Shadowfiend's weaknesses as a hero, the panel touched upon this, is enemies, tanky heroes getting on top of you and just mauling you down. Centaur is one of the perfect solutions to that problem because SF, he has the damage to kill those heroes if he gets to attack.
That's right.
And the cart will ensure that. Of course, this was changed at some point. I don't remember which patch, but you're actually invulnerable in the cart, not just untargetable. So you can drive through the Epicenter Sandstorm and not care. You can tank all the quills. As long as you get to sit in that cart, you're all good.
But you can't take somebody out of Chrono anymore. Very important change. Very relevant in this game as well with the Faceless Void. So Blade Mail now up for Faith Beyond. As Amar is going to make his way to the mid lane. And another stolen shrine, potentially?
It's Falcon? They might even get Shiro as a bonus.
Shiro, Epicenter's coming from. He is not ready for this one. Bushwhack to follow Stampede, but the Sharpshooter is enough again. Falcons get away with murder, and the trade is a measly support. Of course, no offense to Snake King. He actually gets off the song anyway. Even the Wrath of Nature's not enough. These Eclipse and the Static Storm as well, but the Illusory Orb is enough. They use everything to kill the support off as Skeeter shows up a little bit too late, though, so Planet does end up trading the Wisdom Shrines, but still the bigger kill on top of Shiro.
Almost survived.
How is he so tanky?
Well, Naga has pretty good base armor, and I think he just popped everything he had. He probably had a lot of one charges, used Polywalk Charm, Song heals, obviously, so.
Yeah, but looking at the Tidebound team fight that's going to eventually come, if the stars can align, since that seems to be the theme of this TI, Coil into Requiem with like the cart potentially helping you out in that pursuit sounds kind of crazy. Being able to snap coils on multiple heroes.
Yeah.
A lot of upside, and with that Static Storm to make things even more difficult. You can see the potential from Tidebound's lineup.
He is queuing up Pipe on the Centaur, though.
Okay.
So this will be a much delayed blink. Of course, they can somewhat rely on Nothing to Say to set up plays, but it is nice to have a secondary option.
Oh, close one. Indeed.
We'll save Planet, but...
Oh, Sharp. This is a much bigger kill. Trying for the Requiem, but it's not happening. Skeeter gets the kill on Shiro. Second death in just a couple minutes now for the SF.
He's having a really difficult day today so far. Marcy in game number 1 did not go well. This game on SF, the 2 deaths, it might not sound like much, but this hero is the perfect target for Falcons to slow down if possible. And similar to game number 1, Tidebound are playing without saves. So when SF does get jumped, until you have that cart, which is far down the road.
Yeah, let's keep talking about the cart, by all means.
Well, absolutely. It's... For once, it's actually important. The first 20 times I cast with you and you mentioned it, I didn't care. But this game, I do.
Yep, you can see, I can see the future. I have vision.
Yep, you have vision. That's good.
That's right. Stampede used again. This time it does get somebody out, and it's Bach himself.
Nope.
But you can, I mean, just based on how this game is played, Tidebound has not been very aggressive at all. Like, maybe the laning stage a little bit with the TPs from Planet, but mostly it's been Falcons that have been setting the tempo.
Yeah, they took the early mid tower and top tower, but that's it. All the moves have been Falcons to get 4 Wisdom Shrines, find a couple kills on the SF.
It was 3.
Oh, did they trade 1 for 1 on the second one?
Planet ended up TPing to the other side.
Top tower is under attack.
That's a Radiance now on Abaddon. So this is a major level up, whichever playstyle you want to go for. If you want a team fight, this is when Abaddon really starts packing a punch. If you want to farm, you accelerate to a large degree. So Skitter's on track here for a solid.
Stampede is not online this time as Amar finds himself a half man, half horse, but Wise in the vicinity. Oh, a big initiation with a coil on the 3. Static Storm to follow. Malrine comes in though with the Epi. Looks like Boxing the first to fall. Planet trying to kill off somebody. He finally gets a support. Looks like he's going to die shortly after though. Is the song to try to reset. Shiro on the outskirts looking for the Requiem. Will get it off to get the fear. Decent timing. Ensnare applied to the puck at the moment though. Nothing to say. He's found in the tree line. Burrow Strike applied. Still stuck in the trees. Can they find him? They ping him out. Finally the illusory orb comes. It's a curveball though. Back into the fray. He'd be able to blink out though. It looks like the pursuit will finally come to an end. Is that was all over the place.
Well, he did get out, but that first orb, I have no idea what happened. That might have been a mouse slip. Like, you would want to curveball that one back to your base or just throw it in a straight line, but he orbed forward. Fortunately, did manage to find a way to play himself out of that, but that was scary. Still another good fight for Falcons. Having the damage, and Shadowfiend just arrives too late. If you want to take these fights as Tidebound, and you do have set damage issues, this guy needs to be involved.
Yeah.
Or you're just not killing him.
I mean, they had Coil, Static Storm on 3 heroes. That is about as good of a start as you can hope for at this stage of the game for Tidebound.
If there's a Requiem there, you team wipe them, right? But
yeah,
Falcons might not make the move to begin with that information. They're doing it because they know Shadowfiend is elsewhere. So it's a little bit of an unlikely hypothetical to really find that type of fight right now. And of course, if you do find yourself in the back foot, hang on, nothing to say.
Sharpshooter again. The glimpse back onto Snake King gives the space needed for Nothing to Say to retreat.
It is hard for Tidebound to land all of their stuff because there's the threat of song at any given point. Now, in that example, Snake King was caught in the storm, but you cannot rely on that happening every time.
I mean, this might be a game.
Arriving. That's drums.
Yeah, this might be a game where the 3 cores from Tidebound all have to get BKB because of the song, potentially.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I mean, the fact that Pipe is being bought by Bach means that that's not going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah, it's far away.
That would be like a 4th, 5th item for him if the game gets to that point. Malrine, he's going to be able to pop the epicenter, and that is way too easy onto Faith Beyond. And it looks like the rest of Tidebound might want to still fight. Glimpse onto Skeeter. Gets stunned up now, has the borrowed time, and the kinetic field not in time, so he is going to be able to shrug it off with the aphotic shield and the rest of Falcons nearby.
Understandably, Y is hesitant to just go in there against an Abaddon ult, but ends up being a little bit too slow, doesn't land the field, and this is probably just going to cost them the
Wait, are they contesting this? No, the Centaur taken out. They know this is happening, but indeed. Skeeter, of all the heroes, gets the shard. That's surprising. Talk about that in just a moment. Kinetic field with the Static Storm onto the Sand King, but there's no follow-up at all from Tidebound. They have to run away.
This is such a good shard to get for free on Core Abaddon.
Yeah, how did that even happen? He's 3rd in net worth on his team then, or he was at that point?
Well, Crit bought his own, so he was competing against Naga, and Amar also has his own. He bought his too.
Okay.
So, yep. And if you subtract 1,400 from his current net worth, he's below Sand King. So, yeah. He was eligible. His other teammates are just that farmed.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. I feel like Falcons are one of the teams that actually purchases shards a lot earlier than the average team. Probably one of the nerd stats from AUI 2000. One of his preferences, Skeeter.
Made up.
Under the tier 2 tower, Coil will snap thanks to the glimpse. Skeeter's ult is now down. Wrath of Nature coming for him. Does hit, but now the reinforcements have arrived. Burrow Strike from Malrine. Bushwhack not going to connect this time, but a Sharpshooter does. The Stampede does not give the distance needed. So another punish from Falcons as they now have a 5K lead.
Doesn't seem like Tidebound are able to string anything much together in these attempted aggressive moves. They're just unable to connect on the heroes that they want and get the damage out. Abaddon being the target once again just doesn't really help if you don't have the follow-up. What you want to do is to force his ult without using Glimpse. If you use Glimpse to force the ulti every time, he just runs away. So if they're unable to force it without it, the play probably doesn't exist to begin with, and it's just a big waste of time. I mean, sure, you might not lose any kills or any heroes in the process, but you just know in the back of your mind, Falcons are farming on 3 cores the whole time. So they're beating you on efficiency if these moves fail.
Yeah, well, now Faith Beyond has the pipe. Obviously, we talked about the fact that he opted to go for that before Blink, so it feels like they have to get something out of this.
He's queuing up Crimson, too.
Oh, okay. Well, you don't need Blink if you know you're going to get Aghanim Scepter at some point, Cinderin.
No, that's debatable.
I mean, the fact that you can Blink full range now with somebody in the card and it works.
Yeah.
Absurd. So many micro buffs over the last couple years with this item that we keep talking about we probably won't see, so we're just wasting everybody's time.
Middle tower is under attack.
But regardless, Falcons now through the gate. As they have their sights set on Nothing to Say. Well, they don't have their sights yet, but they have an idea. He's up here. Burrow Strike finds him. Bushwhack to follow, and another sharpshooter kill for Crit. My goodness. He has 4 kills right now on the Hoodwink. Feels like nothing going the way of Tidebound so far in this game, too.
I mean, this hero pairing is so good. So, Hoodwink plus Centaur, Hoodwink plus Sand King, you hit a Burrow Strike, you make sure you get the Boomerang in ASAP, you amplify all the spell damage from Sandstorm, from your other spells. He doesn't even have an offensive item in these kills. He's running Glimmer on Hoodwink, so he hasn't amped anything else than buying the Boomerang. That's good enough. Now mid tower finally for Falcons. 8,000 lead going to be on the board after this goes down.
Top tower is under attack.
For 1 second, now it's back to 7, but it was a good second.
Yeah, we will always remember that.
Again.
Very memorable moment here at TI. Mallory now taking some creeps away from Tidebound, working on his BKB next, not that far away. And Shiro with the 2 deaths that, I mean, it's only 2 deaths, but it does feel like it's kind of compounded from game 1 to some respect, because he was just dying constantly.
Yeah, he has 9 deaths so far today, I believe. Wasn't it 7 in the last game? Something like that.
Sure, we'll just go with that. Working on the Silver Edge, so wants to be able to break the Bristleback, but again, this is an off-lane hero. You still have to worry about 2 more cores that are all mega farmed.
And the question is, if you break him, does he even die? He has Lotus, Pipe, and Sanj. It's a really, really tanky Bristle here. Top of the net worth. I think you have to try to bide your time here as Tidebound, which is always going to be a dangerous strategy to have to play against Falcons, but realistically speaking, with the supports that you've drafted in this game, and also arguably in game number 1, you're putting a lot of pressure on your cores to do all of the damage, and if they're unable to find that early lead, you fall into this mid-game stalemate where you can't really pose that much of a threat. They will eventually get there. Puck is one of the best late gamers in Dota. Played from the mid lane. Centaur can become a monster. I'm not concerned about Tidebound's ability to win this game at the hour mark. I'm concerned about their ability to get there, because Falcons are ramping up more and more, and if they hit their stride like they did in game number 1, we could be looking at a similar end time of like 45 minutes where the heroes are just invincible.
Yeah, for sure. And I was going to say, he's holding on to a lot of gold, but changing his mind, going for the Blink Dagger now in Centaur. We'll see if Tidebound want to get a little bit more aggressive now. As a result, Shiro actually pops the smoke. The dust on the other side, though. They know that he has the Shadow Blade. Don't have the vision required. They do find Y instead, though. Another sharpshooter kill. Man, oh man, Crit is farming up those fantasy points today.
And this is all a setup for Roche. Amar with the amp damage, with the goo. They've got Curse of Avernus. This is nice and easy.
Nothing to say. Oh, he's going to get Epicenter Burrow Strike as well. Crit in the vicinity. In addition, Hook Stomp comes. It's going to be close, though. Nothing to say. Just able to get out. And again, this Roche is really all that Falcons care about, and they're going to secure it now officially.
They just have to pop so much in escape, right? If there's a Hoodwink ult there, the Puck is 100% dead. That only worked out because Crit had Sharpshooter on cooldown from the previous kill, which is, you know, fortunate for Nothing to Say, but at the same time also showing that Falcons keep finding the moves back to back. so you don't get much time to breathe. For a team that's got a reputation in this tournament for good reason, and in general of playing like slower and choking out the map, I feel like today Falcons are deliberately playing a higher pace against this opponent.
Yeah, for sure.
Just seemingly the right approach, at least so far, against Tidebound in this series. And again, I would argue a large part of it is them exploiting the support duos that Tidebound has picked in both games, just not having that much kill power. So whenever we get into the skirmish mode, Kurt's Hoodwink is just having more impact than the enemy supports combined. He's actually offering those kills.
And we're talking about nature's prophet.
Yeah.
I feel like you haven't said
crazy,
that statement
right?
the entire year. But that is definitely the case in this game, too.
Wisdom again for side of Falcon.
They will take it. And on the other side, the sharpshooter makes it a little bit more difficult as Crit's going to continue to stand inside. Burrow strike a little bit too late, but at the very least, they will secure their own shrine as well. So 3.5 minutes on this Aegis. Are you surprised with the Aegis onto Ammar?
No, I think it's the perfect choice. I think Abaddon doesn't need it this game with how it's played out. And Sinking has BKB and Ammar. A lot of the time when Falcons play with Bristleback, Ammar is playing almost as the carry of the game. So they're going to send him in front, and he can create all the space in the world knowing that he cannot die twice. So I don't mind it. I think it's good. He's level 18.
Yeah.
Top net worth in the game. Sounds like a good Aegis carrier to me.
And he can certainly hit buildings as well.
Yeah. Classic Ammar fashion, he's of course running Seeing Red. We haven't talked about that. A lot of offlane bristles like the Snot Rocket, but Ammar wants to get up close and personal.
The fortification comes out on this tier 2, but it's just a matter of time.
I wouldn't mind seeing Falcons go high ground here.
Already?
Yeah, I understand there could be some concern with if you get caught on the back foot and you have to run away and then you get glimpsed back in. I really struggle to see the side of Tidebound killing this bristle twice. I think they can at least burn the Aegis and see how much they can get. They have Song of the Siren, Aegis, Abaddon.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's
difficult to deal with them. But
so far playing it safe.
Yeah.
They have 2 tier 2s down now. Only the bottom lane remains as Planet currently pushing that out. He's working on an Aghanim Scepter for the Prophet. So Silver Edge now up for Shiro. And like you said, this is against the Bristleback, whose top net worth has the Aegis. Will they even have remotely close damage to bring him down?
Well, that's what's kind of interesting about this game state is Falcons, I think, are... I'm not going to say they're peaking right now, but I think if both teams just farm for another 5 minutes, I actually think that's good for Tidebound. You want Puck to get to more critical mass, like get level 20 talent to start getting next damage item potentially. Currently going for Yules though, so that's not all that scary. You want Shadowfiend to get crit. You know, we want him to be able to kill these tanky boys, and so far doesn't really have it. The Tormentor for Falcons, so this is the upgraded Song of the Siren, much more healing. And also regenerates mana. Largely irrelevant in this game.
Well, we'll see. I mean, it's percentage-based.
The healing is good, the mana regen is...
Oh, yeah, that part.
I don't think that...
But percentage-based healing, when you have 3 strength or 3 tanky heroes that are your cores, is insane combo.
It's very good. So as an example, it heals currently 6% max HP per second. So on Bristleback, what's that? That's like 150? Not bad. It's like 2 hearts.
I thought heart was bad, though.
Well, 2 hearts is good, but you can't do it.
Okay, gotcha. Skeeter finds an opening, snaking with the ensnare. And this will be the death of Planet. Still working on that Ags. And yeah, it looks like Falcons are going to be pretty content with the 2 tier 2s down as the Aegis expiring in 15 seconds. But this is going to open up Tidebound smoke now as they look for an opening. BKB, though, for Ammar. That's going to replace the Aegis. So he's going to look to potentially pop this smoke from Tidebound as they make their way into their own jungle, which has been infested now by Falcon members. And there's a Crimson Guard.
I'm not sure about this Crimson.
It's okay. He's going Ags next. We're going to see Cart this game. I promised it to all the viewers.
I feel like
Let's hear it for Cart, everybody. Yeah!
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Do you think the Crimson Guard is worth it?
I mean, there's a lot of physical damage.
There is, but
and it's good for high ground with the tower, theoretically.
There are some... I feel like the cart is what is... I can't believe I'm saying this in a cast video. I feel like that is the potential difference maker in this game where Shadow Fiend seems like he needs help being brought into good positions in the fights and dealing the damage, or if nothing else, you can use it as a save. The Crimson, you're delaying that a lot more. It's definitely not a bad choice, but I'm not sure it's the best.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Anyway, might just get there regardless and get the cart. 4,000 gold shouldn't take 50 on all that long. Probably 5 or so minutes, maybe 6. But that will... Effectively, that will be after next Roche.
Yeah.
So that timing is unfortunate.
Snake King's getting pretty farmed now. Has a Solar Crest with drums, and Force Staff will be getting Greaves relatively shortly. This is a support hero, Cinderin.
He has 140 CS.
If we transported this image back 6 years to you, would you have a heart attack seeing that as a support player?
I would have a heart attack at seeing how big the map is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe a heart attack is a very big statement, Shan. Relax. We're all
about that.
I would be surprised. Now Naga is no stranger to farming. Like, this isn't a new thing that support Naga gets farmed. But obviously, when the map is bigger like this than a couple of years back and you are in control, Naga is one of the most oppressive heroes, which is why this hero gets banned so much. Because whether it's played in a support or a core role, the illusions are low cooldown scouting tools that push waves non-stop, so you always have to take care of that. Naga is Helm of the Dominator 2.0, right? The illusions just do the same thing as those DOMs do by pushing out waves non-stop, farming for you, letting you scale. You can buy any items.
He's effectively a core. I mean, he's only 3k behind Malrine, for God's sake.
Yep.
Pretty impressive.
And that's probably the reason Malrine isn't ahead of at least Centaur, is because Naga is taking some space.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Sand King will get more, but he doesn't need to.
Radiant are
sharing is caring.
Curious to see what Snake King will do after the Greaves, because I think we can already start thinking ahead for that. There's nothing indicating that he will stop farming. And 14k net worth already. What is a good item here for the support Naga? Dagger. I guess you could get Hex.
Ooh, yeah, Hex would be good.
Against the Puck. Yeah, plenty of options.
Or both. Blink Hex, Cinderin. Just become Shadow Shaman yourself.
If he keeps farming at this rate, he will be 6 slotted at minute 50. So.
Well, Shiro has Daedalus, so damage definitely online for Tidebound if they can get the connection. That's the big if right now. Falcons will smoke up. Looks like Tidebound might want to be doing the same here relatively shortly.
Harasma. There's some big damage upgrades here for Tidebound. This feels like finally they have some tools that they have been lacking for the last 15 minutes.
Yeah.
If they actually do connect, I believe in their lineup to now be able to kill some of the cores. But the connection is the big question mark. How do you get Shadow Fiend into position when you don't have the cart yet? Centaur can go for a blink stun, but you have counterplay from Song, you have counterplay from Aphotic Shield. BKB on Bristle. I mean, Bristle just doesn't die, right? BKB, Pipe, Lotus, and another Plate Mill.
This is basically full timer Roche as well. So
yep,
that benefits Tidebound. They've had time to kind of catch up a bit in terms of getting the items they feel are the next power spikes for them.
Yep. Still won't have the cart on spawn.
Let's talk about cart again.
If Falcons want to force this now, they know it's up because it couldn't have been any slower than this.
And we'll see if they want to try to contest this or if they want cart. What is more powerful, second Roche or cart? Only one way to find out, ladies and gentlemen.
He can't afford it now. They're going to smoke. So, big moment here for the side of Tidebound.
Oh yeah, he's getting it on the way. Workhorse about to activate. The crowd is going to cheer so loudly when it's in his inventory. There we go! We got the Workhorse cart! Enter the cart. Nothing can harm you any longer. Now, of course, he needs a BKB to be able to use it properly, Cinderin. There's still ways to go, but the important thing is he has the cart now.
You and I thought the crowd at this event was going to be cheering for killed Dominator creeps, but it turns out it's the actual Centaur.
That's right.
The dominated one. The scepter in hand, the smoke, highly uneventful, just breaks and they're not really following up on it. But the standoff begins. Now this ward that they've placed above the Roche pit here for the side of Tidebound could be really powerful, but well, if the fight gets pulled away from there, it doesn't do very much exactly.
I really hope this cart does something, or else we really did a shitty cast.
I think either it's instrumental or it's completely irrelevant. One or the other. It needs a polarizing result here. It needs to not be okay.
I mean,
we want a big play.
Yeah.
Or we want it to be completely...
Yeah, Faith Beyond is no stranger to this, as we talked about, so we're not worried about the execution. It's more, will he have the opportunity? Because Falcons, with this 14K lead, pretty massive.
I think it's worth pointing out the win expectancy graph of this game is flatlined in the last 10 minutes. Falcons were gaining and gaining and gaining, and now we're kind of stuck in this 3-1 favorite stage, which I think I could get on board with. I see a possibility for Tidebound to pull off a good fight, but definitely Falcons are in the driver's seat and have the easier to execute strategy at this point. Shiro almost has Pike now, another big item for him. We're talking about his inability to hit stuff. That'll help.
Yep, Roche. Belches in their face again.
They've got 1 minute to do this before he is tired of being here.
That's true. If they can delay this. And Lamar now outside the pit, want to get to the triangle of Tidebound. This Planet being pursued in his own base. Oh my goodness. Burrow Strike Sharpshooter, it's enough. Planet actually out for 50 seconds with no buyback, so this is actually a 4 versus 5.
Radiant's middle tower is under
I don't know how. He did not feel safe in his own base, and I can see why now. But still, Falcons not forcing the issue onto Roche. Want to capitalize on any potential mistakes. You can see the wave is already pushed in the mid lane, so perhaps forcing Tidebound back to base is what they do.
Yep.
And they're going to be pounding on this tier 3 rather, with the illusions to follow suit. And Shiro and the company, this is going to be a mass TP for Tidebound. And immediately Falcons just go straight towards the pit. Although, like you said,
he's leaving.
Roche is leaving. His home has now changed. It is summertime Roche, heading to the south, where the closer to the equator, nice and warm.
top tower is under attack.
And Falcons are already set up better in this area than Tidebound, courtesy of being there first. So once again, feels like they have things under control. Snaking will keep pushing out lanes with these pesky Naga illusions. And sure, you do have Nature's Prophet to try to do the same thing, but it just takes him longer to do it, and it's a bigger commitment. Using teleport every time puts you on that cooldown where you can't connect to your team. Naga just spawns the illusions, sends them out, and stays with the team. Always available for the save.
Yep, true.
Yeah. Do they have any smokes left is the question on Tidebound. They don't have anyone in their inventories, so it's difficult for them to access this area, but at the same time, Falcons also uninterested. This has effectively been a 3-minute Roche fight without hitting Roche.
Well, Roche
and without hitting each other. So
the old Roche off, but this time in a different area.
Oh yeah, we had this forever in the corners.
Yeah.
Man.
I love this current Roche, though.
Yeah. It's good.
Radiant are scanning.
Tidebound on the high ground. You can see the illusions continually spotting them. As
Yeah, it's
Falcons
not
just
only the
daring
Naga.
them.
It's also the Abaddon Radiance.
Oh, Stampede. Okay, Epicenter comes in from Mallory. Pops the BKB as well. As Bach looking for somebody to use on his cart. He's going to be applied some pressure. Pops the Blade Bell. Nobody really wants to touch him now, though. Gets rooted up onto the high ground. Nothing to say coming to try to take out the Abaddon, but he activates his ult just in time and heals up to full as a result. There's the cart onto the Shadow Fiend. Gonna be able to get off his ult. Actually, the Centaur dies first inside of his own cart. The Shadow Fiend follows suit, and just like that, it's 4 dead for Tidebound, and Falcons lose nothing. That wasn't even close. No. The cart didn't do it.
Maybe they'll get one more chance, but it will be against a man advantage now. Aegis as well as Banner. I wonder who they'll put the Aegis on. Saw Skeeter take a lot of damage in that engagement, but obviously stay alive. It will be Ammar again.
Radiant's bottom tower.
And it's sieging time. You've got plenty of time. You've got 50 seconds before Shiro's up. So I think high ground already is on the menu. They're barely even scratched. All their heroes are looking full right now, and they still have Song. So in reality, that wasn't even remotely close. Now Hex comes out for Hoodwink. He almost has Refresher on the Naga.
This was the previous fight, of course. I mean, the fact that the Disruptor gets taken out before the fight really begins kind of spelled the doom for Tidebound, and didn't have enough money to buy back and TP in. So Falcons capitalized. Now they're up 24K with the Aegis advantage, and now pushing that bottom lane. Can Tidebound do anything to repel the forces of Falcons? This is going to be one lane for them extremely easily.
Not exactly a carbon copy of the previous game, but it's feeling really similar overall. Similar time for the overall high ground, going for the killing blow here at about 45 minutes. Executing the map better.
He gets broken, but just going to shrug it off. The second lane in the sights for Falcons. Oh, onto the puck, the bushwhack to follow, the save! The cart saves the puck! Gonna try to turn this around, but where is the damage coming from exactly? Nature's Prophet in the midst of all of this, trying to TP out, but the Burrow Strike connects, bushwhack to follow, that'll be the death of the NP. And again, 3.5 minutes on the Aegis. Falcons have plenty of resources to work with as Ammar looks like he's going to finish off this second barracks very shortly. Another Hex that the Burrow Strike actually misses, but they find the connection on the nothing to say. The Stampede is not enough. He is out for 90. No buyback. As Falcons now to the third lane to try to get Mega Creeps and close the door in this upper bracket match against Tidebound. And it's looking like it's going to be a 2-0.
What a stellar performance this game has been from Crit on the Hoodwink.
Bach gets off the hoof stomp to try to break the Abaddon, but he already has his ult on as Ammar just destroys Y. Cart onto the Shadow Fiend in retreat. They just call GG, and just like that, Falcons 2-0 Extreme in this upper bracket match.
And this individual game more so than the first, not even remotely close when you look back at it. Tidebound maybe had one singular successful move, ending the game with 5 kills at minute 45. Falcons in complete control the whole time, and as I was saying, for me, Crit, total standout performance on the Hoodwink. The way they played the map together, the Sand King and the Hoodwink, I feel like was what dictated almost everything.